Alright, hello citizens of the Nigelverse. It is Nigel here once again, and this is going to be another tier list. So, last time we did a tier list, we looked at the Ratchet and Clank weapons, but we here in the Nigelverse don't do things halfway, which is why today it's the gadgets' turn. So, another major part of the Ratchet and Clank video game is not just the weapons, but the gadgets as well. Hell, not weapons, not weapons of war, not things that you'll attack the enemies with, of course, but other gadgets that do a variety of other things for Ratchet, and whether it be unlocking new pathways, unlocking secrets, or even just using it to progress the game. But so we got our gadgets here, and then we have our tiers down here. So our top tier is Gadgetron Specialty, meaning a really good gadget, really useful gadget. A tier here is not the top tier, but still pretty good. B tier is kind of the middle ground, not great, not horrible, but good, okay. C tier is like almost bottom of the barrel, one or two things keeping it from the bottom, and then the bottom is a hunk of junk because it sucks. And kind of similar to how we did with the weapons, just a tiny bit different as to how we're ranking them. We're ranking the gadget, how it looks, and how often it's used. Like, is it a gadget that you'll be using a lot? Is it a gadget that's not too strenuous to use? Is it useful? And we'll be taking all that into account. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Starting with the Trespasser. Now, the Trespasser is used on different gates, different laser gates, and what you have to do is match the lasers to different socket hits. There's different rings that you got to twist around, and you gotta get each laser into, or you gotta activate each gate on the ring, and then the gate will open. And thankfully, after you complete Trespasser puzzle, you don't have to redo it. Even if you die, you can just go right through it again. You don't have to redo it, which is fantastic. But it is used pretty frequently in the game, so it is pretty useful. As for how it looks, I do kind of like it with like the three little nozzles and everything. I guess if you want to call it that, or like three nodes, I guess, representing like the three rings, and then there, and it's pretty cool when you go into the pause menu and Ratchet's kind of fooling around with the weapons and gadgets. When you select it, how he kind of spins it around on that, I think it's kind of funny. But as for the Trespasser itself, I'll actually give it a. Some of the Trespasser puzzles are a little bit annoying, but otherwise it's useful. It's a gadget you'll be using quite a bit, which is nice. Next up is the Gadgetron PDA, aka Personal Delivery Assistant. It's pretty much what I use this as is that when you're not near a Gadgetron vendor, you can order weapon ammo, and if you run out from pretty much anywhere you are. But a couple kind of caveats to it. For starters, the Gadgetron PDA isn't available until like pretty late in the game. I think I forget exactly what planet it first becomes available on, but it's pretty late into the game. So sadly, you won't get too much mileage out of it, and unless you're ordering ammo constantly. But the other thing is that it's a markup. Each thing of ammo is marked up pretty highly, pretty significant markup, which makes sense because service and everything. You're essentially getting weapon ammo out of a vacuum. But me personally, I never found too much use for it. Not just because it's in the late game, like I said, but also because I would just go to the Gadgetron vendor. Or either that, or if I ran out of ammo on one weapon, I was pretty much just gonna switch to the other weapon. So, me personally, I didn't really find too much use in the Gadgetron PDA. Hey, I get the idea, but didn't really find too much use for it. So, because of the idea and because of like some people finding use for it, I'm sure I can't put it in hunk of junk, but I am gonna put it in C. And remember that these are all my opinions, so if you disagree with these, that is totally fine. In fact, let me know what you guys think of these. But next up is the Helipack, and helipack turns Clank here into a helicopter backpack, allowing you to glide, I'd help do like longer jumps, especially like the long jump and everything, and thankfully he not only do you get it pretty early in the game, but um, you're gonna be using it pretty much throughout that and another gadget which we'll get to, which is kind of similar to the helipack. But because of that, the helipack I'm gonna put in Gadgetron specialty. You get a lot of mileage out of it. You pretty much use it throughout the entire game, especially to make a lot of the longer, trickier jumps. So yeah, the helipack is going to go in Gadgetron specialty. Next up is the O2 mask. And the O2 mask, you get this towards the middle of the game, but it actually serves a couple really good purposes. For starters, it allows you to explore. I forget the name of the planet. I believe planet Orxon, with all like the noxious gas and everything. And at first, during your first visit to it, only Clank is able to explore because obviously Ratchet would die from inhaling the toxic fumes. Clank's a robot, so he doesn't have to worry about that. But also, but when you get the O2 mask, then Ratchet's able to explore the planet freely, and you're able to do more missions. But also, it allows you to infinitely breathe underwater. Before you got the O2 mask, you had a limited air supply when you were underwater, but now with the O2 mask, you don't have to worry about that anymore. So getting even more mileage out of that is pretty nice. Plus, like I said, it's toward the middle of the game, so the O2 mask, which I think I put 0 but I'll put O2 mask, is going to go in a really useful gadget. Next was the thruster pack, the second pack, similar to the helipack. The thruster pack, pretty much doing a lot of the same as the helipack. I think the thruster pack takes you a little bit higher. Plus, it has like the extra stomp move, so kind of an upgraded version of the helipack. And thankfully, you're allowed to switch off between the two. So the thruster pack is also going to go in Gadgetron's specialty. So the thruster pack is going to go in Gadgetron specialty. But next up is the Hydro pack. Now this one, the last of the three Clank packs, but this one is more so for underwater, allowing you to swim faster underwater, and more so by swim I mean Clank uses the motors here to propel you forward relatively fast. So the Hydro pack is pretty useful in that regard, and you do get it kind of towards the middle, kind of towards the beginning of the game, and making it useful there. So the Hydro pack, not really useful. It's only useful underwater. You can't really use it on the surface, but even so, I am going to put it in A tier. Still really solid and a really awesome idea. And next up is the pilot's helmet. It only really used for the ship on the planet Poketaru, and the whole purpose of it is that the pilot's helmet allows you to interface with the pilot ship. It allows you to pilot the ship. Oh no, there is the other one when you're in outer space. He's fighting Quark and everything, but the pilot's helmet otherwise not too much used to it. So the pilot helmet, I think it's okay. Only really like a couple instances. So the pilot's helmet I will put in B tier. Next up is going to be the swing shot. Not only do you get the swing shot pretty early on in the game on planet Kurwan, but you will be using this pretty much throughout the rest of the game, and pretty much throughout the rest of the franchise. This is the swing shot. A lot of these other gadgets have come and gone, but the swing shot still being used even till the modern day. And what I like about the modern like Ratchet and Clank games is that you no longer have to manually equip the swing shot. Once you get the swing shot, you just do it automatically. You don't have to manually equip it or try to find a place or in quick select because you'll be using it quite often. But yeah, the swing shot, very useful gadget. It so is going to go in Gadgetron's specialty. Next up is going to be the Magna Boots. Used to climb up the magnetic surfaces. They look nice, but otherwise they do only serve one purpose. But thankfully, you'll be getting quite a few magnetic surfaces throughout the game, so you get a lot of use there, and they do look nice. So the Magna Boots, I am going to put in A. Actually, the Magna Boots are going to go in A. Next up is going to be the Hollow Guys. Only really useful for like one planet. The robot facility where Clank was created. Otherwise, you're not really going to use this. It's only useful on one planet, so unfortunately, this got to go in hunk of junk. A pretty nice idea being able to disguise yourself as a robot, but you're only going to be using it to sneak past the guards. Actually, I think there is one other planet that you use it on, but otherwise, not really a whole lot of use to it. And you can't even attack when you try to attack while you're in the Hollow Guys. The Hollow Guys will turn off. But yeah, so sorry, the Hollow Guys for me is gonna go as a hunk of junk. Not a whole lot used to it. Next up is the Hydro Displacer. Right off the bat, this looks pretty cool. Like the nice big barrel where the water goes and the nozzle and everything. But the main use for it is that you transport water from one place to another, so you can use it for all the different like water puzzles and everything. When you have to transport water from one place to the other, and you'll be using it pretty frequently throughout the game. So on that merit, the Hydro Displacer, that's honestly just a really cool name. It's the Hydro Displacer, but otherwise the Hydro Displacer, or because it's like in very specific circumstances, aka like the water puzzles, but they're pretty frequent. But it is gonna go in B. Next up is going to be the Sonic Summoner. I think I've literally only used this like once. You only use it to get the sand mice, which are like different robots that help you attack enemies and everything. But otherwise, it's pretty useless. And I don't even think I used it the first time around when I first played it on the PS2. When I played it again on the PS3, I didn't really use it. I think I used it once just to see what it did. So the Sonic Summoner is also going to go in hunk of junk. The Sonic Summoner is going to go in the hunk of junk, unfortunately. Next up is the Metal Detector. The Metal Detector, not quite as required as like some of the other gadgets we've seen here. Pretty much you use it in areas where there's a lot of like where part shows up where there's hidden bolts, and you use them to find the hidden bolts. Otherwise, it's not really a whole lot of use with the Metal Detector here. So the Metal Detector, if you want a few extra bolts, is nice, but otherwise, I think I'm gonna put it in C. The Metal Detector, I think I will put in C. Detector. Thank you. Google Drive or Google Docs, I should say. And then finally, the Grind Boots. Considering there's a lot of grind sections, you'll be using the Grind Boots quite a bit, and there is a lot of them on a lot of different planets. And the grind sections sometimes are kind of cool, sometimes are a bit annoying, but otherwise, I think the Grind Boots also. I think because the Magna Boots I put in A, I think I also got to put the Grind Boots in A as well. Also, the Grind Boots are going to go in A. Plus, you can wear them. They look really cool. But I think that's going to do it for this tier list. So to recap, in Gadgetron Specialty, we had the Helipack, the Thruster Pack, and the Swing Shot. In A tier, we had the Trespasser, the O2 Mask, the Hydro Pack, the Magna Boots, and the Grind Boots. In B tier, we had the Pilot's Helmet and the Hydro Displacer. In C tier, we had the Gadgetron PDA and the Metal Detector. And in the hunk of junk, we had the Hollow Guys and the Sonic Summoner. But, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this tier list. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, turn on post notifications so you know every time I upload a video, so you can see it as it drops. See it as soon as it drops. Sorry. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on the video, your thoughts on the tier here list and everything. Do you agree with my sentiments? Do you disagree with my sentiments? Let me know in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Peace.